Good afternoon, America. Welcome to the Raw Feed, the show that brings you the stories they don't want you to hear. I'm Gary Franchi, and right now we're going to dive deep into the chaos that is engulfing our nation. But before we jump in, let me tell you something. This is not your typical news show. We're streaming live to millions on YouTube worldwide. We're also on Rumble and X. And if you're not following us there, you are missing out. And here's a little secret. Share the stream via text message. It's the best way to bypass the algorithm and spread the truth. Now listen up. We've got a special feature tonight. We are going to be interacting with you, our viewers, in live chat. Your reactions, your thoughts, they matter, and we want to hear from you. And for our Rumble viewers, send those Rumble rants to be featured right here on the show. But here's the thing, folks. We can't do this without you. The mainstream media, the tech giants, they are all trying to silence voices like ours. That's why we need your support. There are donation links in the description. Every dollar helps keep us bringing you the unfiltered truth. Now let's get to the meat of today's show. 5 explosive stories that are going to blow your mind. First up, Kamala Harris. Remember when she was the border czar? Well, she suddenly discovered there's a crisis at the southern border. We'll show you her pathetic attempt to look tough after years of inaction. Then we are talking Trump and Zelensky. That's right. The two presidents met, and you won't believe what went down. Is Trump positioning himself as the peacemaker that we all need? And speaking of Trump, wait till you see the poll numbers. The political establishment is in panic mode. We've got the inside scoop. But it's not all politics tonight. We've got real disasters unfolding across the country. A massive chemical fire in Georgia has forced thousands to evacuate. What are they really burning in that lab? And if that wasn't enough, devastating floods have swept through multiple states. We will show you the footage the other networks are afraid to air. So buckle up, America. It's going to be a wild ride. Your voice matters. So get in the chat, send those Rumble rants, and let's dive into the stories that matter. This is the Raw Feed, and we are just getting started. Now let's welcome you to the show. We got Jeremy, sure you. We got Fred. We have got Alice and Perry and Vivian and the Mountain Dew Man. Johnny's here. Nightbot, Lady Ephraim, Alice, Orbity, and Janet. Roscoe's in the house. We got Maudib. We've got Fred and Sing and Mary and Freedom Nugget. Freedom Nugget. I love it. We got Christy, Power and Speed. We've got Betsy Donis is in the house. Rita's here as well. What's up? Alice loves the hat. Thank you. This is I've been wearing the hat like this for years. Jeremy's here. Mike Brady, Thomas, Uncontrolled Speech. Terry's here. Rich is chiming in from Wisconsin. We got Jeremy in the house, and Kat and Salty Pureblood is here, ready to bring the salt. James, Lane, Rhonda, and Ann, and Marianne. Adam's here. Salty Pico is here. JMD, Patty, Melody, Linda, Deuce Sixes, Sarah's here. Bobby's here. WG and Ken and Ellie, and we got Bugger Simons. Let's go, he says. Sandra's in the house. Kelly Courtney. Hello, Kitty fan. We got KC Garthwaite is in the house. Mike and Arnold and Toby and Carrie and everybody's in the house. Well, it's great to see you guys. Remember to type in the chat where you are watching from, what kind of device. It helps everybody to get an idea of just how broad this community really is, because you are a part of a family here at the Next News Network. So let's get into our first story. We got a lot to unpack over the last couple days. So much is happening, and I've got a lot of stuff that I've got to get to that I have handpicked just for you guys. We're going to kick off with the border story, and then we've got the story with the leaked Zoom call, which is wild, and then we've got all this madness that's happening in Georgia and North Carolina, the tragedy unfolding there. We got to unpack it all, and of course, the inaction from the federal government, what real people are doing, and we're going to tell you how you can help those folks as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, the border crisis has reached a boiling point, and guess who's finally decided to show up? That's right, our very own border czar, Kamala Harris. After years of neglect, she's suddenly trying to look tough on immigration, but we're not buying it, and neither should you. We're going to expose her last-minute border visit for what it really is, a desperate attempt to salvage plummeting poll numbers. So get ready for a shocking revelation of hypocrisy and political maneuvering. Now, folks, while we're talking about border security, let's discuss another critical issue, your financial security. Our nation's debt has skyrocketed past $35 trillion. The government's borrowing just to pay interest, digging us deeper into a financial hole. Meanwhile, gold prices are soaring. Smart investors are moving from paper money to what our Constitution defines as real money, gold and silver. If you've got funds sitting in in a low interest account, it's time to call Global Gold Investments. That number's on the screen, 888-700-4148. Mention Next News for VIP treatment and a free 2024 Wealth Protection Guide. Don't wait. Secure your financial future today. Okay, so obviously, Kamala, she went to the border on Friday, and it's wild. There's a big story right now. Non-citizens are now going to be arresting citizens in Minneapolis. Insurrection Barbie says this is the fall of the Roman Empire in real time. Kamala Harris also telling everybody we need to turn a page on
generation. Well, folks, it's time to turn the page.
I agree.
It's time to turn the page. America is ready to chart a new way forward.
Yep. We're going to do it with Donald Trump, not with Kamala Harris. Don Jr. and Tucker Carlson, they held their first, actually the final stop on the Tucker Carlson tour. And Don Jr. weighed in on the Kamala Harris border visit. Let's listen.
I said, she will tell you anything. I mean, she's going to crack down on the border. I mean, she was the border czar. I got fact-checked a couple months ago when she was talking about it, because I was like, she's the border czar. If she wanted to do something about the border, they had the materials there, all the labor was paid for. They just said to the workers, they said, take the contract we gave you, it doesn't matter, leave the materials, we'll sell it for pennies on the dollar. Now she's going to be tough on the border?
Yeah, exactly. It's because she knows that her numbers are sinking. The Border Patrol Union has come out and said the Vice President Harris has ignored the border problem she created for over 3 years. She go down there for 20 minutes for a photo op and decides to repeat some of the things that the NPBC has said before. But again, where has she been in the last 3.5 years? And while she was there, she had a perfect outfit. She paired her $62,000 Tiffany necklace with workwear, a field jacket at the border, to talk about the 13,000 convicted murderers that she let into the country. Let's listen to what she had to say in that $62,000 necklace.
Who have been here. And as president, I will work with Congress to create, at long last, a pathway to citizenship for hardworking immigrants who have been here for years.
No, they just want a system that works for the Democrat Party by importing all these new votes because their policies don't work and people are fleeing the Democrat Party in droves, so they have to import new voters. Just a day ago, she said, as president, I will secure our border, disrupt the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States, and work to fix our broken system of immigration. And here is the beautiful photo op she took while she was there. Yeah, Kamala Harris means business. Her first trip to the border and her entire time in this administration as the border czar. And it's just a month out or so from the election. Oh, she means business now, folks. You better believe everything she says. What a joke. Meanwhile, Robert Sterling points out Kamala Harris has never cared about the border until she realized it would cost her the election. In the past 2 days, she's tweeted about the border 15 times. Prior to that, though, She had just a total of 9 since taking office. She's getting crushed on this, and she knows it. You can see here's the chart of all of the posts that she's made. 2021, she made 2 posts. 2022 and 2023, no posts at all regarding the border. But now, 2024, she made 7 and then 15 just recently. Kamala Harris on illegal immigrants. They're American in every way.
And as president, I will work with Congress to create, at long last, a pathway to citizenship and deserve to have a system that works. I also have in mind our dreamers. I have met with so many of our dreamers throughout my career. They who have grown up in the United States, were educated here, pay taxes here, serve in our military, and contribute to our communities every day. They are American in every way. But still, they do not have an earned pathway to citizenship.
Looking for votes. She is going after those votes. Meanwhile, in Arizona Rapture, Timothy Klump responds to Kamala Harris' border speech. Let's get a response from an actual man.
It is a little frustrating because it's funny that Donald Trump had the border secure, and then she had control of. Then she gets in power and gets rid of everything that Donald Trump did. And then she says that the reason that she can't secure the border is because she needs a bill. So I'd like to ask her, what bill is it that you used in Congress to get rid of Donald Trump's border wall stuff? Because it actually worked, you know?
It was executive orders. They made Joe sign a bunch of paperwork, and it just stripped out everything Trump did. So you're a rancher down there. What have you seen? What have you witnessed in the last couple years because of this policy?
It's just been chaos. It was real bad. It was real bad before Donald Trump got elected the first time. Well, the only time with Obama, they stopped processing people. So people would just run through every single day. You'd see so many people, like up to 50 people a day until the election. And the minute that Donald Trump got elected, everything just stopped. And he hadn't even taken over yet, but he had such a clear border policy that the people knew, I don't want to come, and they don't want me there. So then they seemed like they just stayed out. And then it was like, as soon as Donald Trump got out of office, the spigot just turned right back on. And then they say, and it was funny too, because they always say they need more Border Patrol agents, but they will always put the Border Patrol agents out inside of the inland of our state and our county of Cochise County. But whenever Donald Trump was there, the Border Patrol agents were actually on the border. They were on the border, right there next to the border.
Imagine the Border Patrol agents are on the border. What a brilliant idea.
I liked it. It was nice because nowadays, a lot of times, like my brother, he got in a collision whenever he got in the middle of one of those high-speed chases off the border, and they put out these strips, and nail strips, and my brother had his whole family, 3 little babies inside of his car and his wife. The car got totaled. The Border Patrol, they don't want to pay for it, and the guy that was drug running, he didn't want to pay for it either because he got away, and it's hard to get a coyote to give you money for your car.
No kidding. What a mess.
It's just chaos.
What an absolute mess. I'm surprised Kamala didn't wear a hat like yours when she was down there just to play the part.
No, she had that $62,000 necklace. Sarah Carter was down there also, and she was in Cochise County, the same county that farmer is from, and chatting with folks. Let's listen to what she had to encounter.
And guess who else? Good afternoon, everyone on X. I'm here in Cochise County, Arizona. I'm at the Cochise County Fair, and guess who else is here in Arizona? Yes, very soon, Kamala Harris, the Vice President, will be landing here. I think this is her first time, maybe her second time getting close to the border, but not really at the border. There's a lot of folks here that are really upset about the fact that she's coming now. They feel this is a dog and pony show and that she's only doing it for political purposes. I hope you join me tonight on that Sean Hannity. Yes, go to Sean Hannity tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Now, Trump War Room posting that people believe that the Biden-Harris administration has rightly failed them. The acting ICE director sent a letter to Tony Gonzalez saying that 663,000 illegal aliens inside the U.S. have a criminal history. Let's see how CNN is spinning this.
People believe that the Biden-Harris administration rightly has failed them. I don't know if your viewers are familiar. The letter, the acting ICE director sent a letter to Tony Gonzalez that says, I want to get it straight here. There of the 7 million illegal migrants in this country, 663,000 of them have criminal histories. 13,000 have been convicted of homicides. 16,000 of sexual assault. 1,800 still face criminal charges for homicide. These are people that ICE has detained but had to let go because of the current system. It is a huge issue in this country. Americans have had enough of it, and that's why she's there tonight. She's realized that they've broken the system, and they need to do something to try to fix it in the last 40 days. Get them.
Talk about a red pill on CNN. In just over a year, Tren de Aragua, the violent South American gang originating from Venezuela prison, has infiltrated New York City, taking advantage of the migrant crisis to establish a foothold within city shelters and neighborhoods. This is all on Kamala Harris's watch. Let's listen to what this
of our cops
officer has to say.
To the city. We're not new to gangs or crews in the city, so this is our newest crew. And what's alarming about this crew is that their conspiracy to commit crimes touches a lot of areas, from retail theft to extortion to robberies to human trafficking, and the worst, they've shot 2 of our cops.
Yeah, this crew is bad news, and now they're sounding the alarm. On a vicious Venezuelan gang operating on the streets of New York City, you might remember that one of its members was charged in the attack on several officers in Times Square earlier this year. Now the gang is taking advantage of the Big Apple's sanctuary city status by taking root in local migrant shelters, and that's where it begins. Brian Yenis, New York City, at one of the shelters right now. Brian, hello.
It's all starting at the migrant shelters. Unreal.
Bill, good morning. Behind me is the largest of those 200 migrant shelters in New York City. And inside these shelters, the NYPD tells Fox that the new Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, or TDA, is actively recruiting new members. They are selling drugs, particularly something called pink cocaine, and they're smuggling in guns through food delivery services to avoid metal detectors.
Wow.
We did see some intelligence that was been reported that sometimes they were smuggling guns in through food cartons. So yes, do we believe there's guns in the shelters that have a gang affiliation? Absolutely. Do we believe that they were being smuggled in? Absolutely.
The NYPD says there are hundreds of TDA gang associates citywide, and they are not afraid to shoot at cops. They say in June, a gang member on a moped shot and wounded 2 NYPD officers. Earlier this year in Times Square, the NYPD says a 15-year-old suspected gang member shot a tourist in the leg and fired at a police officer while shoplifting. Tren de Aragua, or TDA, has its strongest foothold in the city in Queens, where the NYPD raided a 24-hour migrant brothel last week.
There is intel that they are part of human trafficking in Queens.
Human trafficking?
Human trafficking to the extent, again, I got your family here, now you have to pay me, and you're going to pay me in this fashion.
By forced prostitution?
Correct. They're in the drug trade, they're in the gun trade, they're in the extortion trade. There's been rumors of, or intel that they're extorting vendors on the
Thank you, Kamala Harris, for importing that. Stephen Miller says it takes a special kind of inequity to pledge amnesty and citizenship for all illegal aliens in the middle of a record border invasion as Americans are being blank, blank, and blank. She went down to the border to tell the world, invade us and we will make you citizens. Stephen Miller went on Fox. Never in my worst nightmare could imagine a day where I could be sitting here talking to you about a government releasing 425,000 convicted criminals into the country.
My worst nightmare, Larry, in my entire life of working on this issue, studying this issue, spending time with our ICE agents, our Border Patrol agents, I never, in my worst nightmare, could imagine a day when I would be sitting here talking to you about a government releasing 425,000 convicted criminal aliens into the country, including 13,000 homicide cases and 15,000 rape cases. In any other government, in any other country, it would sink that government. In Canada, in the UK...
Well, that's the plan. The plan is to destroy this country from within.
In France, in Italy, in any of those countries, a government that released half that many, a quarter that many, an eighth that many, they would all be forced to resign. And their party wouldn't be returned to power for at least a decade or more. The only reason Kamala Harris is able to even continue running after a bombshell like this is because she is protected by the legacy media. There is no defending a scandal of this magnitude. It is beyond our comprehension, Larry.
It is. And of course, yes, he's right. The media is complicit in these crimes against the United States. They simply they paint her as this beautiful candidate who gives all these rosy platitudes and promises, but yet the corruption is so rotten and so deep. The media is 100%. They are accomplices to the crime. In case you don't remember, this is the moment when Kamala Harris was appointed.
Administration. I've asked her, the VP, today, because she's the most qualified person to do it, to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that help. We're going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks stemming the migration to our southern border. So this new surge we're dealing with now started with the last administration, but it's our responsibility to deal with
blame Trump
mainly and to stop what's happening. And
of course they never made it. It never stopped. Laura Loomer 2 days ago called them Kamala's. Oh, I can't even say that here. Kamala Harris supports blank. Trump says Kamala Harris let Americans be blanked and blanked by monsters. The numbers don't lie. Kamala Harris does. Average southern border crossings. The blue line represents border czar Kamala Harris. The red line represents Trump. Look at that. Month over month, you can see the difference is stark. And this is great. This is great. This is going viral. I got to share this with you right now.
It is wrong to somehow suggest that an undocumented immigrant is a criminal. Being an undocumented immigrant is not a crime. I know what a crime looks like. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
That's the very definition of it. Kamala? It's the very definition of it. Oh, these people. I can't even comprehend the gaslighting and the destruction that comes out of these people's mouths, the deception and lies. And then she goes down to the border for a photo op because she knows her campaign is in the toilet.
Undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. An 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 undocumented...
And it goes on and on and on. Kamala, who has spread false smears against Border Patrol agents, opposed their funding, and couldn't be bothered to meet with their chief, is now praising them 39 days before the election. She is a total fraud.
Madam Vice President, can you share what the agents at the last stop talked about?
They've got a tough job, and they need, rightly, support to do their job. And they work long hours, they're very dedicated, and so I'm here to talk with them about what we can continue to do to support them and to also thank them for the hard work they do.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kamala. Thanks for nothing. Kamala Harris arrived at the border for the first time since 2021. 20 million people later. Top Kamala Harris surrogate Jim Clyburn absurdly claims that securing the border will be a top priority for Kamala if she wins. Again, the clip we played at the beginning with Don Jr. and Tucker. Well, you do it now. Do it now. Show the people you mean business and take action so that you can at least show that you're doing something. Then you might inspire some voters, Kamala.
Or her administration. So if Vice President Harris becomes president, do you believe immigration will be a top priority for her administration?
Oh, I think immigration has been a top priority for every administration since I've been in the Congress, and that's 30 years now.
Oh, yeah. Don't allow Kamala Harris' photo op at Trump's border wall to trick you. The reality is Kamala Harris has an awful record as border czar. Every Democrat senator up for re-election from a critical battleground state runs away when asked about border czar Harris's record. Trump, there's no greater act of disloyalty.
What's happening is not sustainable by any country. What's happening to us in the United States, millions and millions of people, 21 million plus, have been dumped into the United States, and many of them are murderers. Many of them are horrible criminals. What Kamala Harris has done is unforgivable. It's a crime what she did. It's got to be criminal. There's no greater act of disloyalty than to extinguish the sovereignty of your own nation, and that's what she's done. She's ruined our nation. She's
ruined our nation, 100%. Harris Biden ICE director admits over 425,000 known convicted criminal illegal immigrants have been released into the U.S. She's already released 13,099 illegals who were criminally convicted. You can see it on the screen there. I don't even like saying these words. It disgusts me to utter these phrases. Look at that. I write down on the screen. 15,811 convicted of what? Yeah. This is treason. Here are the numbers right there in black and white. See it for yourself. Under Kamala, this is Marjorie Taylor Greene. The patriots that serve in ICE were forced to release 7 million illegals as their cases are processed. 663,000 illegals with criminal histories. There again, you can see it on the screen. These are the real numbers. Oh, but now this clip was circulating about a week or so ago. All this information, they were instructed to hide it from the public. Well, we're releasing it now.
Once word was out in San Diego, we had an exponential increase in significant interest aliens. These are aliens with significant ties to terrorism. Prior to this administration, the San Diego sector averaged 10 to 15 SIA arrests per year. Once word was out the border was far easier to cross, San Diego went to over 100 SIAs in 2022, well over that in 2023, and even more than that registered this year. These are only the ones we caught. At the time, I was told I could not release any information on this increase in SIAs or mention any of the arrests. The administration was trying to convince the public there was no threat at the border. Fentanyl.
The fact that they would hide that information from the American people is an absolute act of treason. It is a violation of national security and your personal safety that they hid this information from you intentionally. Don't you have a right to know if there's a threat in your town? And where do these people go when they're released into the country? Where do they end up? They end up in New York, starting gang strongholds. Chicago, Ohio.
Another issue. The San Diego area sees between 80 and 90% of the methamphetamine and fentanyl seizures annually for our entire country. With little enforcement at the border, these drugs were coming through en masse. During my last year in San Diego, the price for a single pill of fentanyl, for example, went from $10 to 25 cents. To make matters worse, during 2022 and 23, I had to shut down San Diego traffic checkpoints, which are critical for drug interdiction, because the resources had been diverted to the process and release mission. The large numbers also had and still have a negative impact on the San Diego community. I had to release illegal aliens by the hundreds each day into communities who could not support them. To quiet the problem, 2 flights a week were provided from San Diego to Texas. These flights simply brought aliens that would have been released in San Diego over to Texas. Wow. Each flight cost approximately $150,000. This was the administration's way to try and quiet the border-wide crisis. In San Diego,
wow,
we had an exponential...
So they were just flying them right to Texas on the taxpayer dime. But of course, Kamala Harris, she finds the time to go get a photo op. You know, all the video here, it's all going to end up in campaign commercials for Kamala Harris, that she's tough on the border. But I mean, anybody who's been paying attention knows that this is all a lie. Sadly, though, there are millions of Americans walking around with Harris Walls t-shirts, believing these lies. That's the scariest thing, that people actually believe it. And we're here presenting you this information, giving you the ammunition so you can combat the lies and push back against these false narratives. That is our job as Americans. I don't care what party you belong to. This is about securing our border and securing our nation. And if you don't stand up with us, then you obviously don't care about this country. You don't care about the American flag. You don't care about the red, white, and blue. You don't care about the Constitution. You're part of the problem. Kamala Harris' campaign is in damage control mode today to mitigate the numbers from the border that came out that show she personally allowed over 13,000 people and 15,000 others. I don't even like saying these words. To illegally cross our border. Here she is. Look at this post. This is from Kamala's HQ. Unearthed footage. Attorney General Kamala Harris 13 years ago announces dozens of arrests in a transnational gang takedown. Okay, well, 13 years ago. What about now? What about what about all these people at the border you slid in? You're not taking action against those people. So you got to pull up footage from 13 years ago, Kamala? Give me a break. New York Post, Harris makes first visit to southern border. Elon Musk pointing out this is criminal. This is criminal. ICE report reveals Biden-Harris administration let in 425,000 illegal immigrants who are convicted criminals.
Undetained docket. Yeah, and Sandra, bear with me. We just got these numbers moments ago, but it's a jaw dropper to say the least. So to set the stage here, let me just explain what these numbers mean. ICE has something called a non-detained docket. Essentially what that is it means migrants who were encountered by DHS but are no longer in federal custody. So who's on this non-detained docket? It's illegal immigrants who were caught and released at the border, released with the court date years away. They're in immigration proceedings, combined with illegal immigrants who have already been ordered, deported from the country by a judge, but are still here roaming the country. So keep that in mind, this non-detained docket. According to a letter that the acting director of ICE just sent to Texas Congressman Tony Gonzalez, on ICE's non-detained docket, they're currently tracking 425,000 non-citizens who have been convicted of a crime. Of that number, over 13,000 non-citizens have convictions for homicide and are on the non-detained docket, meaning they're roaming the country right now. On top of that, there are another 15,811 non-citizens convicted of sexual assault who are roaming.
Okay, so look at those numbers. Look at those numbers you see right there on the screen. What are the chances of those people committing those crimes again? They're in this country, roaming free because they believe that they're in a sanctuary city. And those numbers right there. There is going to be a wave of crime like we have not seen. And we've already seen a lot of crime increasing with respect to these migrant crimes. But when you see the numbers on the screen, it takes it to a whole nother level. Those are over 15,000 individual people that could be a threat to someone you love. 13,000 that could kill someone you love. But of course, Kamala Harris, yeah, she thinks that Trump's border wall was a vanity project.
Folks, on the subject of transnational gangs, let's be perfectly clear. The president's medieval vanity project is not going to stop them. And folks, On the
Yeah, you know what's medieval? Is her letting these people into the country like that.
We know the arguments, right? The White House, and look at that, Kamala Harris looking through the border wall there, down on the southern border. I don't know what specific agency she's with there, probably CBP, Customs and Border Protection. The media that is traveling, we know the arguments, right?
Does it make you sick? It makes me furious. So there you have it. Kamala Harris, the so-called border czar, has finally remembered her job description. But is it too little too late? Her sudden tough stance on immigration reeks of desperation and political calculation. So as we head into this crucial election, we must ask ourselves, can we trust someone who only acts when their political future is on the line? What do you think? Is Harris genuinely committed to securing our borders, or is this just another political charade? Sound off in the comments below. Okay, let's get your comments in real time, real action. Jumping into chat. What do you guys think? I mean, that story, as I was going through all of the posts, I was just beside myself. I don't even know how I do it. It's like I've got like this permanent brain damage from like ingesting all this horrible news on this country. Susan, she dances for open borders. The Dems don't even care about the strike that will decimate the whole East Coast. Yeah, we got some news on that coming up. I mean, the whole East Coast is completely screwed. We've got a lot of news coming up on that, so you want to stick around. Some of the stuff we've uncovered is, my goodness, the families that are affected. Oh, and like people are stepping up. The people are stepping up. Trump is stepping up. And Biden? Harris? What? Sending money off to Taiwan and Ukraine? While Americans have lost everything they own. Nick Savage, stupid used to be aggravating. Stupid now is dangerous. It's all an act from Comrade Kamala, Mitten State Media. Oh, where is Kamala? It's all a joke to them. Roz, yes it is. Trump needs to run the border like Poland does. No more kid gloves. Tia Piper, please, anyone that reads this, tell them that peace comes through strength, and we need to read and understand our Constitution again if we want to be an American people again. Yes, it's one of the greatest documents ever written. Nick Savage, they will get rid of the Constitution and rewrite history. That's what they do. They want to destroy the Constitution. They want to rename all of our schools and tear down all of our statues. Rewriting history. It's up to us to remind every American of our history and learn from it so we don't repeat it. Yep. T.S. Shoutin' won. She was wearing her $70,000 necklace too. How out of touch can you be? Okay, let's get into our next topic, our next segment of the show. This is, let's see here. Angie, I'm live. What's up? Why are you calling me? Everything okay? What? Hang on, guys. My wife's calling me. I'm live. Angie, I'm live. What's up? I hope everything's okay. Okay. All right, let's get into our next topic here. This is good stuff. Okay, let's see where we're going to set the stage with you for you guys. Okay, all right. Everything's fine. Family's fine. Buckle up, folks, because we're diving into a diplomatic bombshell that's got Washington buzzing. Donald Trump, the man they said couldn't play nice with foreign leaders, just had a sit down with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Yes, you heard that right. While the Biden administration fumbles on the world stage, Trump's showing us what real leadership looks like. And now we'll give you the inside scoop on this high-stakes meeting and what it means for the future of U.S. foreign policy. Now listen up, because this is important too. While we're talking about international affairs, let's talk about your personal safety on the road. Did you know that drivers with dash cams are 60% less likely to be found at fault in accidents? That's right, a simple device could save you from legal nightmares. The CarVision X dash cam is a game changer. It records everything in 4K Ultra HD, has night vision and 24/7 motion detection. It's like having a reliable witness with you at all times. Visit carvisionx.com now for free express shipping and exclusive bonuses. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect yourself and your family on the road today. Okay, now President Trump met with Vladimir Zelensky, and we've got a lot of reaction from that. Charlie Kirk, this is what leadership looks like. President Trump flanked by Zelensky. I learned a lot, but I think I haven't changed from the standpoint here.
Of course, we need strongest of our soldiers, our people. Of course, it will bring us closer to the peace. We need just peace. We need just peace. It's so important to have just peace for the people, especially for the families who lost their children. It's a big tragedy.
President Trump. Yeah, he just wants more money, more cash. That's why he's here.
Have you changed your thoughts on how this war should end, what you think should be done, or do you still stand by some of the previous statements?
Well, I learned a lot, but I think I haven't changed from the standpoint that we both want to see this end, and we both want to see a fair deal made, and it's got to be fair, and I think that'll happen at the right time. I think it's going to happen. The president wants it to end, and he wants it to end as quickly as possible. He wants a fair transaction to take place, and I think, right now I'm campaigning, so right now I don't have much to do with it other than we're doing very well in terms of the campaign, and I've been saying that I believe if I win, we're going to have a very fair and I think actually rather rapid deal. It should stop, and the president wants it to stop, and I'm sure President Putin wants it to stop. And that's a good combination. So we want to have a fair deal for everybody.
What do you envision?
We need to have peace. Okay, we need to stop funding it. Okay, the Biden-Harris administration, they have done nothing to bring or to put peace on the table. All they have done is fund the aggression and amplified our steps into World War III. That's all they have done. Meanwhile, all that money, it goes in to Ukraine, comes right back out. It goes right back out to the military-industrial complex to fund the war. That's really what this comes down to, friends. Listen to this. And this is what we got. Wait till you hear RFK Jr. on this. And this is Tucker and Don Jr. again, blowing the lid off it all. Listen to this.
People, probably, right?
Well, can I ask you a question? So you do travel and speak to audiences more than anybody, actually, that I'm aware of, and you always have. In Washington, where I spent my whole life until recently, I don't think there are 4 Republicans in the House who've asked the questions about Ukraine than you have. Do you ever meet an audience that is like, no, we really need to keep going funding this war in Ukraine?
So I do this in a lot of the speeches. I'll do it right here because I haven't done it in a while. And I've had 2 responses. And so let's say over the last year I've spoken to 50, 60,000 people probably, right? Opening up for DJT, a rally, a group of 300 people here, that may be 10,000, 5,000. This is 10,000, whatever it is. And I do it. Show of hands, Raise your hand if Ukraine is a top 10 priority for you in your life. Top 10. And I'll do it. Like, if it is, I'll give you the mic. How about a top 3? It doesn't exist. I found 2 people. 2 people of now, let's call it 65,000 people that I speak to weekly. It was not top 3, but it was top 10. First guy, sir, why? I am from Kiev, Ukraine. I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to give you a pass. And the other was a guy that's like a Beltway warmonger. I was like, so you're on the board of Raytheon or something like that? He was like, well, no, not exactly. I was like, Northrop Grumman? He just walks away. You know, and yet I get the calls. By the way, what's nice about me, I'm not a politician, so I'll call out both sides. I get the calls from Republicans. Hey, Don, can you not go so tough on the Ukraine? Because, you know, some of that money is getting funneled back to, like, you know, a missile maker. And I was like, wait. I'm all about American businesses. Like, our family's done that before we got sued to, you know, like, we've done this. I get it. I want to support American business. Not if it's just for abject death for no reason around the world. Like, I'm not there to support American business in genocide. And, like, I talk to these guys, I'm like, you're making trillion-dollar decisions. Have you surveyed, like, your constituents? And they're like, well, no, but, you know, but I'm sure they took 6 figures from Raytheon, and so therefore, you know, they're on the team. You know, they should get, like, sponsorship things. Whose payroll are you on? Because it's shocking to me that a guy like me, who grew up on the 70th floor of Trump Tower in Manhattan, again, I don't forget that. I don't pretend it didn't happen. I'm, like, very self-aware that way. But it's like, how do I know this and you don't? Like, you live there. Exactly. You live amongst these people. You literally chose to represent your district. I was there last week, and you have no idea what they actually stand for. And it's just...
Yep. Oh, that money comes back to us. I got this clip from RFK. I want to get to that. But this is Zelensky. He's speaking in Ukrainian. He filmed a video on the streets of New York calling his meeting with Trump productive. All the negotiations were exactly as Ukraine needed them to be. And during his visit, Biden announced $8 billion in military aid to Ukraine. Breaking news, Putin of Russia and Donald Trump would be preparing a meeting in secret location to negotiate the end of the war and avoid World War III, the failure of the Biden administration's international relations, Kamala Harris, Zelensky, and the real threat of a third world war would have motivated the meeting to be held probably in Alaska without using their private planes. The two intended to announce the pre-agreement to the world soon. Now, this note just came out post 6 hours ago that Putin and Trump are preparing to have a meeting in a secret location. Now, I don't know how true that is, but maybe they will, and maybe they will come to some agreement.
The United States has let the Middle East get totally out of control. Really bad things are happening, all easily within our power to stop. Could lead actually to catastrophe if not handled with strength and precision. Same is true with Russia, Ukraine, and maybe even more so. We have to fix our country. We have to bring peace. Our nation is in dire trouble. I will fix it.
I certainly hope so. Let's see. We have more. If you don't, remember when RFK Jr. came out to support Trump, this was one of the main reasons why.
President Trump. And now, to throw my support to President Trump, the causes were free speech, a war in Ukraine, and the war on our children.
We need all these wars to stop. This is President Trump speaking. Listen to this.
Okay. Look at what's going on right now with Ukraine. They're surging into Russia. Okay? You're going to end up in World War III, and it's going to be a bad one.
We need to stop this. It has to end at some point. It has to end. Zelensky's gone through hell, and Ukraine has gone through hell. This is when they both met. We can't play that clip from Newsmax. RFK Jr. praises Trump as the epitome of diplomacy following the meeting with Zelensky.
And if you go, so we had to expect that they would do exactly what they told us we were going to do. And if you go into Ukraine with NATO, we're going to go to war. And 2 days before the invasion, Kamala Harris went to Germany and said definitively for the first time by any U.S. leader, we are moving NATO into Ukraine. And that is something that we all need to understand, that provocation.
That is why this is happening, because we violated the treaty.
I was so proud of President Trump because everybody says that he alienates people all over the world. He doesn't know how to be a diplomat. But he was the epitome of diplomacy, and I urge you to go look at the YouTube. He was kind and civil to President Zelensky, but he was also firm in his resolve. And he said, I've had a nice meeting, but I have not changed my mind. We need a peace, and we need to do it very quickly. And we need to protect U.S. interests, not an interest of a country in which we have no strategic interest and no treaty. And he was polite, he was kind, but he was firm in protecting our country. And that's what Donald Trump will always do. So we had to expect.
That's what we need. Let's see. We have, here is Byron Donalds. This is a clip from Byron Donalds. He posted on May 12th of 2023. This was that town hall that he gave with CNN. Remember this moment?
Presidency. Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
See, they want him to take a side. They are trying to put him against one or the other. Because if he says one, oh, well, then you're supporting these people. If you say this one, you're supporting these people.
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying. Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying. And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. You need the power of the presidency to do it.
But can you say if you
want people to stop dying? It's very simple. Senator Tom Cotton. The war on Ukraine wouldn't have happened on Donald Trump's watch because it didn't happen. I
don't know how much more.
B, how would it exactly look? You're close to Trump in this process.
Well, he hasn't been specific, and I think that's for a reason. One, he doesn't know what the world is going to look like in another 3 months when he takes office. He doesn't know how much more Joe Biden and Kamala Harris might screw things up. But here's what we do know. This never would have happened on Donald Trump's watch because it didn't happen on Donald Trump's watch. Vladimir Putin has invaded Ukraine twice, both times with Joe Biden in the White House. First as Barack Obama's understudy, second with Kamala Harris in the White House with him. That came just a few months after the disastrous collapse in Afghanistan. Those things are not unrelated. When you project weakness, as Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have, and you suggest to your enemies that they can push you around and walk all over you, you get the kind of conflicts we see in Europe and that we see in Israel, and you get the chaos we see at our southern border. Bob, the administration just acknowledged.
I know, but
I got more. Oh, there's so much more. In his meeting with Zelensky, Trump expressed the hope that if he wins the presidential election, he can find a good solution. Marco Rubio on Meet the Press claims Trump refusing to say whether he wants Ukraine to fend off Russian aggression is just Trump talking like a businessman.
Ukraine. Well, and Senator, just following up on that point a little bit, Iran has been supplying Russia with weapons in its war against Ukraine, including drones, Correct. Including short-range ballistic missiles. And yet Donald Trump will not say that he wants Ukraine to win the war. Are you concerned about
You see that? On Meet the Press, echoing the same points from that CNN town hall. Trying to put one side against the other. What about the side of peace? What about the side of peace? The media doesn't want it.
message that sends to Vladimir Putin and the supreme leader?
No, because I think, unfortunately, I'm not on Russia's side, but unfortunately the reality of it is that the way the war in Ukraine is going to end is with a negotiated settlement. And I want, and we want, and I believe Donald Trump wants, for Ukraine to have more leverage in that negotiation. But in order to be in a position to be a broker who can bring about that agreement, I think he's going to preserve what he says. He approaches these things as someone not in politics or diplomacy, but as someone with a background in business. It's not going to be easy to do, but at least there's a defined goal. The Biden administration has not defined what victory means in Ukraine. They have not defined this is what victory looks like. And if you press them, they will tell you what I have just said to you, which is the way this conflict ultimately ends is with a negotiation. And so I don't know why we can't just say that. And we hope that when that time comes, there is more leverage on the Ukrainian side than on the Russian side. That really is the goal here in my mind. And I think that's what Donald Trump is trying to say, but he's going to say it like a businessman. But Biden won't even tell us what victory is.
No, victory to them is just sending more and more weapons. Okay, so here's the clip I wanted to play for you. This is so eye-opening. Why are we in all these wars? And he lays out the reason why. Listen to this.
The initial question was why.
The volume is really bad.
Why are we in all these wars and who's making these decisions? Well, in 1992, we promised that.
Okay, so the volume's really bad, guys, and I'm sorry about that. But I will read you the quote of what he says. When a new nation enters NATO, the contract requires it to conform its weapons purchases to NATO spec, which means billions and billions of dollars for Lockheed, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, General Dynamics, and the other military contractors. Who owns all of those? One company, BlackRock. These are the people who are dictating what the Democrat Party does. Talk about being an eye-opening moment. So, friends, let's just pray for peace. That's what Donald Trump wants. Stop the dying. Stop the funding of the military-industrial complex. Okay? While the current administration struggles to string two coherent sentences together on the world stage, Trump is showing what real diplomacy looks like. His meeting with Zelensky proves that he is still a force to be reckoned with in global affairs, but here's the million-dollar question. What do you think this means for the future of U.S.-Ukraine relations? Could Trump be the key to ending the conflict if he wins in 2024? Share your thoughts in the comments below. All right, guys, I want to hear your thoughts in real time. Let's see what you guys have to say. KNK, BlackRock's an evil empire, needs to be stopped. Is anyone surprised that the two assassins were affiliated with BlackRock? BlackRock makes money on both sides of the war. 10% to the big guy. People like Wolf Girl blame Trump for everything wrong in their lives, it said. What, is there some kind of drama going on in the chat? Nicolette, Kamala has to pay for people to come to rallies. That's how desperate she is. This Trump guy is like a dream come true. The money's not helping anyone except deep state players. Okay, let's get to our next topic of the afternoon here. Oh, God. This is the Zoom call story. We got some polling information. We got some information also on that boycott of that restaurant that Vance was kicked out of. We got some stuff on Hillary. Oh, man, this woman continues to go off. We got some new Trump ads. This is a really good report. Lots of context here. Okay. But I think we are going to cue it up with the Zoom call because this is so damaging. Okay. Buckle up, patriots, because we've got a bombshell that's rocking the political world. A leaked Zoom call has just exposed the Democrats' worst nightmare. Senate candidate Elisa Slotkin drops a truth bomb. Kamala Harris is underwater in Michigan, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. Trump is not just leading, he's dominating the latest polls. So now we're going to dive deep into this explosive leak and the numbers that have Democrats in full-on panic mode, the political earthquake you've been waiting for. Well, it's happening right now. And folks, while we're talking about strength in the polls, let me tell you about strength in life. Have you seen Chuck Norris lately? At 84, he's still kicking butt and taking names. How? He discovered a simple change. It's got him feeling decades younger. And it's not just him. His wife is in on it too, looking leaner and more energetic than ever. And Chuck has made a video explaining it all. And trust me, you need to see this. Head to chuckdefense.com/next or click the link in the description. It's so simple, you won't believe it. Don't miss out on this game-changing health secret. Okay, so now let's get into this. A leaked Zoom call, Democrat Senate candidate Elisa Slotkin dropping a bombshell on the donors. 9 seconds is all it took.
Right now, we have I'm not feeling my best right now about where we are on Kamala Harris in a place like Michigan right now. We have her underwater in our polling.
Underwater in the polling in Michigan, and she needs to have Michigan. She needs to win it. Look at this. This is a Nevada Democrats. They hung a 43-foot-tall, 6,000-pound naked President Trump in effigy near Las Vegas on Interstate 15. The display you see right here cost $550,000. Clearly, it is designed to incite violence against President Trump. Yeah. Look at this thing. A naked President Trump hanging. How disgusting is that? John Kerry recently has come out and clearly declaring he wants to violate the Constitution.
Around any, and I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing. And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue.
That's a problem, right? Free speech is a problem in our democracy.
Really hard to govern today. You can't, there's no, the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact, the kind of.
He says the referees. Oh, I mean, he's admitting that he's lost the information more, and the referees he's talking about are the gatekeepers in the media. Remember when there was only just a couple networks? You only had a couple channels to watch, right? A couple trusted anchors. Those are the referees. Those are the arbiters of truth. But now you get the truth from shows like this. And that's why they want to try to silence us, my friends.
Been eviscerated to a certain degree. And people go and that people self-select where they go for their news or for their information. And then you just get into a vicious cycle. So it's really, really hard, much harder to build consensus today than at any time in the 45, 50 years I've been involved in this. And there's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities in order to guarantee that you're going to have, some accountability on facts.
Curb the entities. He's talking about silencing free speech and silencing the press.
But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and, has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation.
Like CNN, perhaps? Or MSNBC? How much disinformation and misinformation have they put out to the American people? Yet platforms like YouTube hail them as authoritative news and lift them up, lifting up the authoritative voices. Yeah, back in the day, you could just search up a topic and you get organic search results. Not anymore. You get official misinformation from CNN and MSNBC.
Our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So
Wait, what?
Has an agenda, and they're putting out disinformation. Our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just, hammer it out of existence. So
our First Amendment stands as a major block to hammer misinformation out of existence. Well, you know how you counter misinformation? With truth, with more information. That's why the beauty of the First Amendment exists.
what we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern by hope.
Okay, I've had enough of Kerry. Yes, who's pushing this madness? Well, the New Yorker asks the question, is it time to torch the Constitution? Current Real Clear Politics has Trump Vance at 281 electoral votes to Harris Walz 257. So this is a very good sign moving closer to the election. Hillary Clinton says something will happen in October and compares herself to the Greek mythological figure Cassandra, and then launches into another conspiracy theory. Speaking at the Clinton Global Initiative.
Brief final question. You liken yourself to Cassandra, the Greek mythological figure who could see the future and the prophecies, but was never believed. Putting that Cassandra hat on for the moment, but we're listening. What is something you see happening in the near future that we should be taking more seriously?
Well, I do think that the press needs a consistent narrative. The press that's not supporting Trump blatantly, very persistently, the press that's trying to be the press, be objective, be, reporting the facts, the press needs a consistent narrative about the danger that Trump poses.
Wait a minute, Hillary. That's all we hear from the media is the rhetoric that Donald Trump is a threat. And then you have these effigies hanging in Nevada. How many assassination attempts? Threats of missile attacks on Trump Force One? Hillary Clinton's part of the problem with this rhetoric, and she's asking for more of it.
Because, people may still look at the danger and say, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I'm going to vote for X, Y, or Z. But okay. But at least people need to be woken up and given the facts about.
And that's what we're doing here, Hillary.
What he has done, is saying, and would do. And I anticipate that, something will happen in October, as it always does. The Russians, as I said earlier, are very active in this election. We know the Iranians are active as well. Chinese uses TikTok, or they certainly did against Biden and for Trump. I think they're a little less pro-Trump right now. So you look at where people get their information, and they get their information largely from social media. And so the campaign is doing the best job it can to combat both domestic and foreign false disinformation. Oh. But I anticipate there will be a full court press in October. The digital airwaves will be filled. And why does that matter? Because the press that is pro-Trump anyway, oftentimes
Hang on, she said the digital airwaves. I'm just going to throw something back at you guys. Back in 2016, when the YouTube algorithm was wide open, this very channel dominated the digital airwaves and was one of the very reasons that Donald Trump got elected, and was one of the reasons we were attacked viciously by the authoritative news immediately after the election. This channel, the one you're watching right now, me. Okay? So she's talking about the digital airwaves because she knows how effective that we have been. But the algorithm's been flipped, and now the authoritative news is going to the top. Senator Kerry, he's freaking out. First Amendment's a block, he says. Let's continue. She's got about 90 seconds left here. I don't know. Let's see what she says.
They're put on digitally that then are picked up by, let's say, at Fox and others. And then those stories are stories, so the mainstream press reports on them, and so that story then takes on a life of its own. There will be concerted efforts to distort and pervert Kamala Harris, who she is, what she stands for, what she's done. I mean, look, the crazy...
Well, how about this? We don't have to pervert anything. We don't have to distort anything. We can just play her own quotes. Okay? And you got people in Michigan freaking out. Her own polling shows that she's failing. A leaked Zoom call shows it all. We don't need to distort anything. We just need to show it. And then you guys make up your own mind because we're providing the context here. Right? Isn't that what it's all about? YouTube? Providing context? That's what we're doing. Okay, the crazy story about me running. Okay, what is she going to talk about here? I remember when she went out after she lost, and Brian called me up and said that Hillary's out on this campaign tour. She's freaking out. And then she brought up all the stories we were bringing, that we were promoting. It was such a great moment. I'll never forget that. So maybe she's going to have a little throwback. Brian, what do you think? You think this is it? Let's see.
I mean, look, the crazy story about me running a child trafficking operation out of a basement of a pizzeria, don't laugh. Don't laugh. It was a huge story. And it got one young man in North Carolina to get in his car with his...
Okay, we didn't actually cover that story. But you guys know what she's talking about it. And then she goes into the dark web. Listen, I'll retweet this. You can see the whole thing on our X platform. I don't know how dark she's going to get, right? Continuing on. Take a look at this. This is Donald Trump. See, we don't have to distort anything. We could just present to you the video and the evidence, and you determine for yourself. This is who Donald Trump is. He is one who cares. Look at him on that screen right there. A woman at a rally fainting. And despite all of the threats, he goes out to help this woman, to check on her. Can you imagine being that woman in that rally? Trump going out of his way, despite the constant threats on his life. But yet, you have groups like this restaurant here. You guys heard about this? Permanente Brothers in Pittsburgh wouldn't let J.D. Vance in to greet his supporters. They threatened to call the police on him. The supporters paid for the drinks, canceled their orders, and left. This has this specific video, this specific post, 6.4 million views on X. And we've got the reaction too. Let's listen.
It's a riot. The manager went outside, told them they need to leave. They will call the police if he comes out. Unfortunately, he cannot come in. So what's going to happen is that they're going to take down our name, all our information, so the next time the kitchen crew's running out because everyone's canceling their orders.
So it's the rhetoric from the left that triggers these lunatics to go and act out against Trump supporters, against Trump himself. It's that same rhetoric from these authoritative news sources that cause managers like this to completely disrespect their own patrons who are there to see a vice presidential candidate. But it is having a major, major backlash. There's now, let's see, J.D. Vance denied service, threatened with arrest. Permanente Brothers, owned by Garnett Station Partners, a New York-based private equity firm, handling over $2.3 billion under partner Jordan Gary's leadership. Permanente Brothers operates 44 locations. Here he is. Here's J.D. Vance outside of the restaurant.
This is on tip. We paid for everybody's food. We gave him a nice tip. And of course, when I gave him a nice tip, I said, no taxes on tip. God bless you. No, it's all right. don't hold it against her. She just got a little nervous, but it's a great local business. Let's keep on.
I don't know. He's being too kind. He's being too diplomatic here. Primanti Brothers issues a statement. Prides itself on being a staple of the Pittsburgh community and proud American business. Hosted sitting presidents, politicians, political candidates from across the spectrum for over 90 years. Without any advance notice, today's campaign stop caused some momentary confusion for our staff. However, Senator Vance and his team were welcomed into our restaurant shortly after and engaged with our guests inside and on property. No. As you can see, Cat Turd blows it out of the water. People were inside actually filming what happened. Nice try with the backtracking after the backlash. And was it Roger Stone? Do I have the Roger Stone tweet here? Roger Stone says, yeah, it's about to happen. There's going to be a big boycott of all of those restaurants. Oh, yeah. There's so much happening, friends. So much happening. You got that. Did you see what happened with the President Trump and Tim Walz both showed up to college football games? One got booed, the other received cheers that could break your eardrums. Watch this. Look at that. Donald Trump, a man of the people, getting a hero's welcome. Getting a hero's welcome right there. Wait for it.
Get out of here!
Yeah. Nobody wants Tim Walz around at all. The Italian-American civil rights. Primanti Brothers has given Italian-Americans across this nation a bad name. Their refusal to serve J.D. Vance this weekend is reminiscent of Jim Crow. They're calling for a Primanti boycott, and we would like to welcome Senator Vance to a true Italian Sunday dinner. Let's go. Polling in Pennsylvania via the Trafalgar Group, Trump is up 47.5 to Harris at 45. He's got a 2-point lead on Harris in Pennsylvania. We need to secure Pennsylvania, friends. Okay, you want to see that new ad? First, listen to this.
Who's the next president? He's a Muslim and he's for Trump. I'm a Muslim for him. He's a Muslim. All the way to the White House. All the way. I'm a Muslim. I support this man to the death with my life.
Oh, wow. A Muslim man saying he will support Trump with his life. Here's a new ad.
Doesn't see where you. Greatness doesn't discriminate. It doesn't see where you're from, what you look like, or who you know. Greatness is for those who work for it, for those who keep moving forward. Greatness is for anyone willing to fight for it.
Beautiful. Juanita Broderick posting that. Here we have a bunch of Kamala Harris supporters. They got nothing to say. I mean, these are the people that believe the rhetoric that comes out of the mouths of those people on CNN and ABC and MSNBC. It's really sad that these people are so easily controlled by lies and deception. And that's why all you can do is pray for them. Just pray for them. Pray for them to have the scales drop from their eyes and they can see the truth and humble themselves before the truth so we can get this country back on track. Take it from those people who are destroying it.
Policy, sir. What's your favorite Kamala policy, sir?
Anything but that other guy.
Anything she's done? The open borders?
In jail.
Kamala weaponized the government, and you're proud of that.
Trump, criminals. Trump's the lyingest son of a bitch I've ever
What'd he
seen.
lie about?
He lies about everything.
Name one thing he lied about.
Proved a million times.
Name one thing he lied.
The guy in the back. Oh, he's got 34 felonies, right? Like, you see what he's just parroting the attacks. That's what all those attacks are designed to do, to create headlines so people like that go stand on a street corner and support Kamala Harris. Because that's all he got 34 felonies. Blah, blah, blah. Just spewing garbage from their mouths because of the strategic attack on Donald Trump. I'm sure you guys probably know some of these people. You know someone just like this in your social circle who is so close-minded, all they do is watch CNN all day long and poison their brain with deception and lies.
One.
Yeah.
One. Just
Okay.
one. Only need one.
You got me on the spot, but
I got you on the spot. I can't name one. He lied about everything, but I can't name one fucking thing he lied about.
Typical Trump person.
What'd he lie about, dude? Do you think maybe that it's possible that you are stupid?
Is it possible? You got me on the spot, dude. I can't think of anything, dude. Oh, here's Liz Cheney opening her pie hole.
I think it's important for us to realize that former President Trump will do whatever he thinks he can do he'll try to steal the election. I think that he's been very clear about that. He's been very clear about, the election is only going to be legitimate in his mind if he wins.
So she says Donald Trump's going to steal the election. She actually said that. Sarah Rose captioned this video. Lost by 40 points, Miss Piggy Cheney is saying Trump is going to steal the election. You heard that? Did you hear that? I thought I heard it.
I think it's important for us to realize that former President Trump will do whatever he thinks he can do he'll try to steal the election. I think that.
Yeah. What? By getting his voters out there to the polls? For the first time in decades, this is Frank Luntz 3 days ago. For the first time in decades, more Americans now identify as Republican. 48% than Democrat at 45%. This is a new Gallup poll. For the first time in decades. So if Gallup is saying this, what is Miss Piggy saying here? He's going to steal the election? Polls show Donald Trump up all across the board. But what has Kamala done in 4 years?
Did nothing. Every day for 4 years, tens of thousands crossed our borders illegally. Exhausting public resources. Overwhelming law enforcement. And thanks to Kamala Harris doing so with impunity. Now we're sinking, all while Kamala Harris lies to the American public. She did nothing before. She'll do nothing again. And in 4 more years, we will sink for good.
Yeah, America's done if she gets into office. Kanekoa the Great, voter registration changes November 2020 to July of 2024. Republicans are up 393,000 registrations. Democrats are down by 3 million. Independents are up by 1.8 million. Those are vote registration changes from November 20 to July of 24. Those numbers are huge. Democrats have lost massive amounts of support. And you know what? That support is real. And it's being felt right there in Michigan.
This is I'm not feeling my best right now about where we are on Kamala Harris in a place like Michigan right now. We have her underwater in our polling. This is
9 seconds, my friends, 9 seconds of pure terror right there, leaked for all of America to see. So there you have it, folks. The mask has slipped. And we're seeing the Democrats' true fears laid bare. This leak call isn't just a gaffe, it's a glimpse into the panic that's gripping the left. Combine that with Trump's surging poll numbers, and we're looking at a potential political tsunami. But here's what I need to ask you. Is this the beginning of the end for the Harris-Walz ticket? Can the Democrats recover from this? Or is this the writing on the wall? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Whew. Wow. Okay, I know that was a lot. There was a lot in that segment that we covered. We kind of went all over the map. We went to the restaurant. We went to the censorship situation. We got the polls. We got the leaked Zoom call. There's really a lot to unpack in that. So, but it all comes together. These are all elements that are forming a narrative across this country. That's why we have to bring it all to you. We got to package it up because you're not going to see this. What was this? What is that noise? What the hell is that? Brian, what the hell was that? Okay. Good goodness. Okay. Just freaked me out for a second. Okay. That was weird. How do did we have like a huge drop? I see like we went from 2,500 viewers on. Well, it's back now. It corrected itself. That was weird. Okay. Anyway, nothing surprises me anymore. All right. Okay. Back to you guys. Where are you guys at on that last segment? I know we covered a lot of ground there, but certainly enough for you guys to bite into. Since when is communism the direction of our nation? Since the globalists decided they were going to destroy us from within. She's going to be replaced by Michael Michelle. That was believed for a while, but it doesn't appear to be happening at this point. Looks like there's a little bit of a tit for tat going on in the chat. That's okay. You guys go back and forth. Just be respectful of each other. You know, we want to facilitate communication. We don't want to shut people down, but we also want to, be respectful. Okay. All right. Where are we at, guys? Dare to be aware. Join that. What? Give it time. End the Democrat Party. Linda, the question is, will the election be fair and honest? If so, Trump will win. If not, Trump will lose. They didn't once. They can do it again unless they're stopped. Okay. I want to get to our next topic, our next segment here, because this is pretty serious. Pretty serious. Okay. Thank you, Shiryu. Appreciate it. Tonight, we're diving into a disaster that's unfolding right before our eyes, yet the mainstream media is barely covering it. Massive floods have swept through multiple states, leaving destruction in their wakes. Homes underwater, families displaced, entire communities in crisis. But where's our leadership? Biden's at the beach, Kamala's at fundraisers, and Americans are literally drowning. We'll show you the heart-wrenching footage that others will not air and ask the question on everyone's mind, where is the federal response? Now, folks, as we discuss this devastating flood, let's talk about another kind of relief, pain relief. Millions of Americans suffer from chronic pain. The opioid crisis has shown us the dangers of traditional treatments, but there is hope. Medical scientist Clint Winters has unveiled a breakthrough. Canalidine, this 100% drug-free compound optimizes your body's natural painkillers. It's so effective, even UFC fighters swear by it. I've tried it myself, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. No side effects, no grogginess, just pure relief. Visit tricano.com/NNN now for an exclusive discount. Don't let pain control your life any longer. Okay, now there's a lot of Americans in pain right now. We do have to do those reads to keep this channel going. Looting, rampant looting is taking place. Right now, 8 individuals were arrested after they attempted to loot a Tennessee community that was ravaged by floodwaters. You can see them right here. Kamala has a history of bailing out looters. Will she raise money to bail out these folks too? Former President Trump arriving in Georgia. He says the governor's doing a great job. He's having a hard time getting the president on the phone, though.
What do you think of Governor Kemp's response to the storm here in Georgia?
The governor's doing a very good job. He's having a hard time getting the president on the phone. I guess they're not being responsive. The federal government is not being responsive, but they're having a very hard time getting the president on the phone. He won't get on, and of course the vice president, she's out someplace campaigning, looking for money. So they have to be focused over here. It's too big. This is a really bad one. And the governor's doing a good job, but he's having a hard time getting the president on the phone. They're being very non-responsive. We're also going to be we're talking with North Carolina. We're trying to get them hooked up with communication. They're totally closed right now. North Carolina has really been hit hard. Really, really been hit hard. The hardest, and we can't even get in there right now. And there are a lot of people that have been injured or worse. Very bad. North Carolina. We're working with the people in North Carolina now to get them hooked up for communication. And in the meantime, we're at Valdosta, and we're with the mayor and congressman and everybody else. We've brought a lot of supplies. We're with Franklin Graham. We've been always fantastic in these cases. Nobody better. He does with Samaritan's Purse. He's done an unbelievable job. And how is it going, Frank? So Franklin needs a lot of volunteers, and I know he'll get them. He's done an incredible job in these instances. And this looks like a bad one, really, compared to the worst we've seen in years. So if anybody, maybe you can get that word out, the media can get the word out. He needs volunteers as quickly as possible.
Samaritan's Purse, they are actively working. We're going to get more information for them. But this woman, New York Post puts out, wacko former University of Kentucky staffer said Hurricane Helene was an act of God to punish Trump supporters. Donald Trump, as you just saw, in Georgia, paying respects and bringing lots of relief material, including fuel, equipment, water, and other things to the state. Catastrophic damage. 100 times worse than Katrina. Bodies everywhere. Unaccountable numbers of bodies trapped in cars. Thousands still missing. No federal aid. Media has been criminally silent. Death toll from Katrina, about 1,600. This will be way past that. Some of the footage you can see right here. Cars being swept away. I mean, bridges. I mean, whole towns completely destroyed. This is the reality for so many right now. Oh, President Trump just announced Elon Musk. He's partnering with Musk to provide Starlinks to communities across the Southeast. Listen.
Turned into homes, hospitals, highways, and cars have been plunged underwater. Entire neighborhoods have been turned into lakes. Nobody's seen anything like it. And to every family that's been displaced here in Georgia and North Carolina, which has really been hit. We were going there also, and they don't have communication. They don't have anything right now. We're trying to. I just spoke to Elon. I'm getting him. We want to get Starlink hooked up because they have no communication whatsoever. And Elon will always come through. We know that. And so we're working on that, getting them hooked.
You know, it blows my mind. I see President Trump right there at the front of the scene where all this damage is taking place. Where's Biden? Where's Kamala? Trump is there. He is acting as a leader should. Our own leaders, completely absent. Oh, wait till you see this clip I got of Biden. Wait till you hear. You want to know where our leaders are? I'm going to show you where our leaders are. Oh, here it is. This is the clip of Biden. I'm getting to it. Here he is. Biden said there will be no additional resources.
Yes, it's tragic. Matter of fact, we're trying to get the exact number. My team advisors on the ground in Florida right now. There's a distinction between the numbers that FEMA's used and the ones that are used by the locals. So it really is amazing. You saw the photographs. It's stunning.
It's unbelievable. It really is. Such a wide area.
And we've given them all everything that we have. We're on the ground ahead of time, so we're working hard.
Are there any more resources the federal government could be giving them?
No, we've given them, we have pre-planned a significant amount of it, even though they didn't ask for it yet.
No additional resources. There's Joe Biden on the tarmac, barely able to speak. Asheville, North Carolina resident says it's chaos. Looters everywhere, people vandalizing everywhere.
So update right now, the biggest problem after Hurricane Helene is just you're not able to move. Some of my friends just try to go to Tennessee. The roads are completely blocked off. You're not getting out. We're trapped in. There's a lot of looters. Please stay safe. Stay inside. If you have a weapon, keep it on you because there are people intentionally sabotaging stuff. So over on I-40, there were some truckers coming in with supplies and medical stuff trying to help us. They stuck at a truck stop to get some rest. When they woke up, their tires were slashed. Nothing was stolen, just tires were slashed. The same thing is happening all over the place. People are intentionally just vandalizing stuff, not stealing, just vandalizing. And then there's looting happening in all the stores. I'll come back with an update in about 5 or 6 hours. Everyone stay safe.
Stay safe out there. Samaritan's Purse, my friends. You got to support them. This is what Americans fleeing looks like. It looks like something from an apocalyptic film. You know when you see those scenes of all the cars stuck on the highway, stranded? This is happening right now. This is not a Hollywood movie. Where's FEMA? Where are the government officials? There's no water. There is going to be so much more fallout from this. Donald Trump giving that press conference. This guy, a heartbroken patriot, lost all faith in his government after being displaced from his home by the recent hurricane. The United States has allocated over $16 billion to support Ukraine and Israel, leaving its own citizens feeling neglected and abandoned. Listen to this man.
Just wanted to jump on here and give y'all a little update. I ain't got to see it in person yet, but I've had pictures sent to me. Y'all keep me and my family in your prayers, because from what I see, I have no fucking home to go back to.
Yeah, where's Kamala Harris? Oh, she's too busy actually at a fundraiser. Ben Swan posting this. How quickly do you think we could rebuild North Carolina and Tennessee if the nearly $400 billion we sent to Ukraine could be spent here in America instead? Look at this absolute destruction. $2.4 billion in aid to Ukraine versus no more aid for Hurricane Helene. 3 days apart.
Giving them all ahead of time. So I'm proud to announce a new $2.4 billion package of security assistance. We've given them all everything that we have. We're on the ground ahead of time. So we're working hard.
Are there any more resources the federal government could be giving them?
No, we've given them, we have pre-planned a significant amount of it, even though they didn't ask for it yet.
Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. A storm just wiped out entire North Carolina towns off the map and completely isolated Asheville, which has gone dark due to no internet, water, power, ways to leave. Barely seen any news about it. I'm tripping because seems like this should be bigger news. Yeah, you'd think, right? Well, we're trying to do our part here. This is a heartbreaking image. This is the last image of a wife and a husband in Asheville sheltering from the flood on a roof. The roof would soon collapse, causing them and their 6-year-old grandchild to drown. Their daughter and mother of the child took the photograph. When the roof collapsed, she got wedged and died. The water receded at Biltmore Village today, revealing the devastation. Dan Whitaker says he's been in the area many times and it was not recognizable. This is the devastation. Tons of Americans doing exceptional work to help their fellow Americans, despite the fact that virtually all levels of government above the municipal level are doing absolutely nothing. People bringing in helicopters to provide relief. Entire roads washed out. People without a way to get out of their driveways, no power, little no communication, federal government doing nothing. And our media is barely acknowledging this disaster. This person states, I need people to understand something with the news coverage regarding effects of Hurricane Helene. There's a lot more to the North Carolina mountains than Nashville, Boone, Bowling Rock. He goes through all these different counties. They're devastated and needed the same help. Some even more. Other counties fall under various definitions of Western North Carolina. Western North Carolina holds 11% of the state's population. There are millions of people up there with no electricity, no communication, and no water, no way to get out or let rescue teams even know where they are. And of course, a lot of people are saying, well, it's because FEMA has a specific goal. It's instill equity as a foundation of emergency management. Meanwhile, Tim Walz is trying to raise money at the same time the Southeast is devastated by massive flash floods. Meanwhile, the community got together and decided we were going to clear the bridge because we didn't see any activity from the government. Residents of Tennessee cleared bridges themselves to free the stranded neighbors. Kylie Kane Kramer reacting to this post from Tim Walz. All gas, no brakes. We'll sleep when we're dead. That was posted by Tim Walz 22 hours ago. She says, I can't believe you just posted this when people are literally dying in Western North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and South Carolina. Over 1,000 people missing, 30 people dead. And you're saying people can sleep when we're dead? Disgraceful. On top of all this, we have this massive disaster, and there is nearly half of U.S. shipping is going to be shut down tomorrow, Tuesday. U.S. East Coast port strike set to start on Tuesday. Harrison Smith says, hope you're stocked up. J.D. Vance, heartbroken by the devastation. Please say a prayer for everyone affected by the storm. Gunter Eagleman, Biden approves $567 million in aid for North Carolina yesterday. No, just kidding. That was for Taiwan. They're more concerned with overseas adventures than the people here at home that need it. It's unbelievable. President Trump calls out Kamala Harris for fundraising while many parts of our country are being devastated. Why is lying Kamala Harris in San Francisco, a city she's totally destroyed, at fundraising events when big parts of our country are devastated and underwater? American trucker 16 hours ago just got off the phone with a trucker pal, told me there were 0 FEMA loads on any load boards. He uses 0. In the history of natural disasters, these load boards are full, yet for this event, 0. No FEMA loads going out. No money for you. Sorry, we gave it all to Ukraine. Ron DeSantis, meanwhile, authorizing the Florida National Guard to send air assets to North Carolina in support of their hurricane response. Ukraine first, America last. Health Ranger posting 780,000 homes have no power in South Carolina alone. Many countries across North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia have literally 100% power outages, no power, not a single household, no cell service, nothing. Mario Nafal, 153 people unaccounted for in flood-hit Tennessee. Meanwhile, massive strike is about to hit the East Coast. 36 ports. A major supply chain disruption at the worst possible time. International Longshoremen Association announced plans for a strike at all Atlantic and Gulf Coast ports starting October 1st. Texas Betty, we are in desperate need of more local volunteers in North Carolina to do wellness checks and supply drops in accessible areas. I had a clip here that I saved for you guys from Samaritan's Purse. I think this is it. Yeah.
In Asheville, North Carolina, homes and buildings swept away by raging floodwaters that have submerged the town.
It's beyond anything I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Parts of the town not underwater, completely cut off.
Somebody on a Facebook post said something about having to fly out of Asheville because you can't drive out of Asheville.
That extreme.
Yeah.
With no power and no cell service, crowds formed outside this hotel, one of the only places in town with working Wi-Fi.
We've been just trying to get on as much as we can and either get an email or a text out and just let everybody know that we're okay.
We met up with Cindy Tran, her forever home, a self-described oasis, ravaged by the cresting French Broad River nearby.
The water came up so quick, halfway up to the second floor. We thought the way it just kept rising so fast, it was going to get to the second floor, so we had to get out.
A similar scene in the town of Chimney Rock, virtually wiped off the map by floodwaters.
Chimney Rock's gone. Flowering Bridge is gone.
Meanwhile, the heavy rains triggering a massive mudslide that washed out this stretch of I-40, a major highway connecting western and eastern parts of the state. One bit of good news, two dams that were in danger of collapse, the Nolichucky and Lake Lure dams, now appear to be okay as water levels slowly recede.
I gotta find that clip for you guys. I thought I had saved it here. Oh, yes, here it is. Okay, this, if you guys want to help, SamaritansPurse.org or spvolunteer.org. This is very important, my friends.
Lost their lives. The east coast of the United States just got decimated by Hurricane Helene. And normally up here in the mountains of North Carolina, we don't feel the effect. A lot of damaged homes. People have lost their lives here in this community, in the high country.
Our community is set up for blizzards. We're not set up well for floods. And so it's really catastrophic damages.
The road that we're on here, it's bridges out on the other end, and our slide has got it blocked on this end. Those people, none of them can get out. There's probably, I would say, at least 50 homes or more in there. If you can help somebody, help them. Just bless them.
Samaritan's Purse is responding. We're sending equipment up here, and volunteers will be going out this Monday, starting to help in this community. But this is not the only place we've responded to.
Banner Elk, they're out of water, they're out of food. So we just delivered one load of water to them. In the next couple days, we're going to be moving more water, more food, baby formula.
We are outside Watauga Hospital to offer a oxygen service to those that have lost access to oxygen at their homes.
The medical system here and also in nearby Avery County at our Linville Hospital, they've asked for help. And so as we deploy our teams to help recover from these floods and help dig out homes and cut trees back, we're also helping medically.
Just really grateful for the partnership with Samaritan's Purse to have a little hope in our community about 12 hours after what could have been probably the most devastating thing that we've probably seen in our lifetime.
Nobody wants to live through a disaster like this, but one of the interesting things is disaster brings us together in a powerful way. So would you please pray for those gospel opportunities, bringing people together in the name of Jesus to serve and to help and bring the gospel.
And that's why our volunteers go out. They want to serve and love others, but they want to serve in the name of Jesus Christ. So if you want to get involved, go to SamaritansPurse.org and sign up.
SamaritansPurse.org. Sign up there, friends. Biden, Harris, completely AWOL. Donald Trump right there on the front lines. Samaritan's Purse on the front lines. Long before any federal relief. So there you have it. While our so-called leaders vacation and fundraise, real Americans are suffering. The footage we've shown you isn't just shocking. It's a damning indictment of an administration that's lost touch with the people it's supposed to serve. But here's what we need to ask ourselves. Is this neglect, incompetence, or something more sinister? And what can we as citizens do to help our fellow Americans in need? SamaritansPurse.com is one way. Maybe you have some ideas. Share your thoughts and ideas in the comments below, and please say a prayer. Oh, man. Oh. Oh. I've never seen anything like it before. I've seen lots of stuff, lots of hurricane stories over the years. The footage I've seen from this it pales in comparison to anything I've ever seen. What do you guys think about this? Chat, what's up? What are you guys thinking here? Go Tennessee, we can work together. It's intentional. This is just the beginning of Trump. If he doesn't get elected. I think that the response to this from Harris, Biden is going to completely destroy their campaign even more. People are going to see it. They're going to ask, well, where are you guys? No additional support? Giving millions to Taiwan and Ukraine and Israel? Billions of dollars? Oh, she finally stepped up and she said that we're going to help you rebuild. Is that what she did? She finally showed up? Yeah. Vote Trump for our future. Zelensky just left with our tax money, my friend. Yeah, Elizabeth. Well, for $700 for the Hawaiians. Yeah. We need action and accountability. Oh, man. Okay, let's get to the next segment, friends. It's like one disaster after another, man. My mental health can't handle all this. I'm trying, though. Okay, ready, Brian? Let's go. Brace yourselves, patriots, because we're about to dive into a story that reeks of cover-up and danger. A massive fire has erupted at a biolab in Georgia, spewing toxic smoke into the air and forcing thousands to evacuate. But here's the kicker. This is not the first time this facility has gone up in flames. We're asking the question that no one else dares to. What's really burning in that lab, and why isn't the mainstream media covering this environmental disaster? The answers may shock you. Now, folks, while we're talking about toxic chemicals, let's talk about something that can actually improve your health. Collagen. After 20, your body produces 12% less collagen each decade, and that's why I take this magical powder to rejuvenate my skin. Unlike store-bought supplements, this product combines the 5 crucial types of collagen for skin health. It reduces visible signs of aging, promotes elasticity, and hydrates your skin. Get it today at 51% off at healthwithgary.com. Order now for free VIP live health and fitness coaching, a free ebook on foods for amazing skin, and 60-day guarantee and free shipping. Don't wait. Turn back the clock on your skin. Now, we have to read those ads because they keep this channel going, my friends. And this news is not good. Biolab. Who is it? It's a swimming pool and spa water care division of Kick Consumer Products based in Lawrenceville, Georgia. A fire broke out there at the same location in 2020. There was also an incident in 2016. Always during an election year? That's interesting. Some of the video out of this place is, when I saw this smoke, I couldn't believe Orange and red smoke. Atlanta can't catch a break. This chemical plant fire at a place called Biolab is raging just east of Atlanta. Evacuations have been ordered. Rockdale County Sheriff's Office regarding the Biolab fire in Conyers, Georgia. The fire is out. They say the fume could be around for a few days. This is the fourth fire from this place since 2004. They put out the fire. The plume is still rising behind them. This is like the Ohio train spill. They've evacuated 17,000 people from the area. Take 3 days to clear.
You don't seem to know anything.
They will provide that information.
Should people be evacuating or sheltering in place?
So I will refer to Sharon Webb. She's the Director of Emergency Management Agency to answer that question.
Do you know about how long people can expect to still see this plume of smoke?
Probably several days. I was not here during this occurrence in 2004, and it was several days of this type of reaction. However, of course, the longer it goes, the better it's getting. So we're mitigating to it. It's a slow process, but we are working to get through it.
And again, this is just due to the chemical reaction.
Correct. What you're seeing.
When was the fire? What time around?
So the initial call came in around 5:30 a.m. With a fire that, of course, activated the sprinkler systems, which reacted with the chemical itself. And so it's just been an ongoing. We've been fighting the fire with water, but the water is also aggravating the chemical, so it's a twofold. But we were able to get the fire under control, and that's where we are right now.
And about what time was the fire under control this afternoon?
I would say around 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Okay. Okay. The fire was first.
Look at this. What's this news report here? Look at that. Mass evacuations. Here, look at this. Look at this aerial view. If you're in the area, get gone. Georgia's the source of a major chemical fire. Here's the truth about what they produce. These guys deal with highly reactive chemicals used in pool and spa care, including chlorine and other toxic substances. Their products like BioGuard, SpaGuard, and ProGuard are loaded with chemicals that can react explosively with water, which is exactly what happened. This is the third time in 7 years. You're talking about products like Clean It, Mineral Springs Cell Cleaner, Strip Quick, all of which contain dangerous chemicals that can ignite when mixed with water. This is not a one-off incident. If you're near Conyers, you're at risk of inhaling this hazardous crap while authorities scramble to control the situation. Wake up and be aware of what's happening. And he goes on to post a list of all of it. If you breathe in the fumes from the chemicals like chlorine or other toxic substances used at Biolab, the effects can be severe and immediate. Respiratory distress, chemical burns, nausea, vomiting, eye and skin irritation, pulmonary edema, long-term health effects. If a full explosion were to occur, the release of these fumes could blanket the surrounding areas, making it extremely dangerous to breathe or even be outside. Look at that shot. Look at that. That is all the chemical released into the air in the plume. Look at this. People driving through this stuff. Not Georgia Biolab's first explosion seems to be a habit. The facility at the center of the chemical fire has a history of incidents involving hazardous chemical releases. Here's a breakdown of the three major incidents. 2004, a chemical fire occurred at the Conyers Biolab causing massive smoke. 2020, incident in September. Two separate events occurred at Biolab. Thermal decomposition event involving TCCA caused a plume of hazardous fumes resulting in closure of I-20 for 6 hours. Evacuation of businesses. 2023 incident, another reported fire. Safety investigations found multiple issues contributing to these repeated incidents, particularly involving the exposure of reactive chemicals to water. Now, here's a trucker, and this is kind of related to the previous report we did on the Hurricane destruction that is ravaging Carolinas and Tennessee, this trucker is noting sabotage events taking place.
5 trucks. A friend of mine posted my last video on Facebook, so I'm just repeating it here on TikTok just to get the word out. TA in Denmark, Tennessee had 50 trucks that slashed tires. 50 trucks that slashed tires. That's on I-40 through Tennessee. Exit 126 in Holiday, Tennessee. The Loves had 5 trucks. One guy had 9 tires slashed. And exit 163 at the Loves in Dixon, Tennessee, there were 16 trucks with tires slashed. So if y'all are traveling through that area, avoid those truck stops. Try not to stay overnight in those truck stops, as for now. They've got authorities working on what's going on, and it's some kind of an activist group that is doing this. So y'all be careful and be safe out there.
Massive devastation from Hurricane Helene, chemical explosions, evacuating 17,000 people, sabotage at truck stops, Biden, Harris, nowhere to be found. I mean, are they going to show up to this place and offer support to all those people who've been displaced? 17,000? Initial fire was caused when water from a malfunctioning sprinkler came into contact with water-reactive chemical. Massive chemical fire 20 miles east of Atlanta. Fault in a sprinkler system. Eyewitness account of the massive chemical fire. Imagine living in that neighborhood right there. And this is happening in your backyard. The plume of smoke. Look at that. Everybody in the path of that plume can be affected. And that's real-time live radar. Reminds me of Palestine, Ohio. The October surprises have already started. The next 30 days are going to be an absolute zoo. It's madness everywhere. Conyers, Georgia, Asheville, North Carolina. Oh, yes. Frisco, Dallas, Texas, now Georgia. What are the odds of this happening within 5 days of each other? The plant, which is part of a swimming pool and spa water care division of Kick Consumer Products, Frisco Pool Supply Warehouse, catches fire this morning. Residents in area asked to shelter in place. Dallas, Texas. Same exact problem. 5 days prior. Frisco Pool Supply Warehouse catches fire this morning. Residents asked to shelter in place. What? This just happened. Before this one? Urgent traffic advisory, shelter in place. Pool supply business, shelter in place in Dallas, Texas. Very suspicious. Shelter in place orders due to Biolab chemical plant fire. Truckers sounding the alarm. We ain't even October yet. So there you have it, a Biolab Inferno that's not just threatening lives, but raising some serious questions about what's really going on in these facilities. 4 fires since 2004. Not a coincidence, it's a pattern. But here's what we need to ask ourselves. What aren't they telling us about this lab and others like it? Is this a public safety issue or something even more sinister? And why the media blackout? Your thoughts matter? Share them in the comments below. I don't know, guys. What do you think, chat? This is crazy. It's all very crazy. This is the second story I've heard about evil things happening at Love's. Sounds like they don't want the red states voting. Mindy says, used to get our pool supplies from that one in Frisco, Texas. Not anymore. Almost too much of a quinky dink. Sounds to me Love's needs to be canceled and go rest stops. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm looking at the news and I'm going, this is crazy. The chaos, the flooding, massive chemical fires with horrific visuals. You got the longshoremen who are about to go on strike tomorrow. Truckers complaining about tires getting slashed by environmental groups. Biden and Harris nowhere to be found. Trump on the front lines. Billions of dollars going to Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan. Kamala Harris doing a photo op at the border. Oh, man. Let's check the latest. Let's get into the top latest news here. Elijah Schaffer, 15 seconds ago. It's pretty clear now that all the noise the Democrats made about the Supreme Court justice ethics was just a cover-up for the real plan to stack the court with their own people. What's up, Eli? Trump War Room, 21 seconds ago. Judge Janine, this is what leaders do. In the end, this is what Trump has done. Trump was there first. This is a pattern of behavior. Let's listen to what she has to say.
He's going to fight for. This is what leaders do. And in the end, this is what Trump has done. Trump was there first. He endears this sense of confidence. He's going to fight for us. And we've seen this is a pattern of behavior by Biden and by Harris, where whether it's Maui, where they give $700 to each resident, but if it's Ukraine, they're on the ground with another $10 billion, whatever they need. East Palestine, who's there? Donald Trump with pizza and water. They show up a year later. This is about leadership. It's not about being embarrassed into having to show up somewhere. And, congratulations, you went to FEMA. You've got to go to the people. You've got to go to the people who can't see this. Because I've been in a flood. We lost our house in a flood. We thought there was no future. We didn't have insurance. We lost everything. You rely on the Red Cross for food, the Army Corps of Engineers to make sure that you can drive and that you can go across the bridge. I mean, there's so much more than going to FEMA and making it political.
So Kamala just shows up at FEMA? Nowhere near the disaster zone? Carrie Lake, any crime committed on an American citizen at the hands of somebody here illegally should have never have happened. Amen. Asheville is over 2,000 feet above sea level, 300 miles away from the nearest coastline. No place is safe from... Oh, yeah, sure, if you believe in that. Mark Robinson, folks, I know the lack of ability to travel out west is frustrating, but hear me out. It's not safe. We have a plan to address it. Mark Robinson. Let's see.
Straight about the travel. Hey guys, Lieutenant Governor Robinson. I'm out here on I-40 up here in the western part of the state. Guys, I know a lot of you all are very frustrated about the travel situation right now. But guys, this is what we're dealing with right here. For those of you all that have not seen it, the roadway washed away just a few days ago. And this is a very critical situation and a very dangerous situation. I'm urging everybody out there that's looking at me now, guys. I'm up here with professionals who know how to traverse this area. Do not come up here to this part of the state. It's very dangerous right now. I feel a little leery standing here myself. But I'm doing this to bring this picture to you and to bring this message to you that we're doing everything that we can to try to fix this as quickly as possible, folks.
SamaritansPurse.org, folks. Remember that. Okay. Why is housing so much more expensive under Harris? Great question. The U.S. is sending fighter jets to support personnel to the Middle East as violence mounts. Corey Lewandowski, 36 minutes ago, had the chance to sign real Donald Trump bus today while in Michigan. Great events, huge turnouts. Let's see. What do we have here? Elon Musk. My observation is there's far more vicious animosity directed against the right by the left than vice versa. As Dennis Prager has said for years, the right thinks the left is wrong, the left thinks the right is evil. Dave Rubin. Let's see. There's that Trump effigy in Las Vegas. Cost him $500,000 to put that up. How disgusting. What a waste of money. Wall Street Journal is right. The Biden admin should declassify its Ukrainian aid strategy. Timcast in real life. Current economic disaster favors Trump. Sure. Wow. I wonder if there's any spaces we could tune into. Chris Christopherson passed away. That's sad. Donald Trump, Elon Musk are doing more for us than our feckless excuse for a government. Ain't that the truth? Brian, how do I find spaces? Maybe there's a space we could tune into. Farm Girl Carrie. What, Brian? Go to the top. Okay. Let me just read this. Let me see this clip real quick here.
I haven't reached out.
Did it find about federal relief efforts?
No, I haven't reached out to him. No, I think he's sleeping right now, actually.
I think he's sleeping right now. Yeah. You should go back to the top. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. I see this blue line here. It doesn't give me enough like information about these. I don't want to just jump into a stream. There's 7,800 people. Okay, well, let's see what this is. Okay, got it. Oh, this is about the Israeli-Lebanon invasion. That's certainly amplifying there. Let's see here. This is stock picks for the week. No. The breakdown. More Palestine, Lebanon stuff here. Black Pill Archive. What's this? What's this? Dear Kimberly. No. That's strange. You think there'd be more. What is this? Did they really do that? Pfft, how ridiculous. Okay, folks. That's a wrap on the show. I'm just taking a whirlwind tour through the stories that are shaping our nation. Let me tell you, it's a wild ride out there. We start with Kamala Harris's sudden border epiphany. After years of neglect, she's trying to convince us she's tough on immigration, but we're not buying it, are we? This last-minute border push reeks of desperation and political calculation. Then we dove into Trump's meeting with Zelensky. While the current administration fumbles on the world stage, Trump's showing us what real diplomacy looks like. Could he be the key to ending the conflict if he wins in 2024? And speaking of winning, how about those poll numbers and that leaked Zoom call exposing the Democrats' worst nightmare? Kamala's underwater in Michigan, and Trump, he's not just leading, he is dominating the political earthquake that you have been waiting for. Well, it's happening right now. While the politicians play their games, real Americans are suffering. We showed you the devastating floods sweeping through multiple states, homes underwater, families displaced. And where's our leadership? Vacationing and fundraising. That's where. Let's not forget the Biolab Inferno in Georgia. 4 fires since 2004. It's not a coincidence. It's a pattern that demands answers. Now, here is the thing, Patriots. We can't keep bringing you these stories without your support. The mainstream media, the tech giants, they're all trying to silence voices like ours, and that's why we need your help. There are donation links in the description. Every dollar helps us keep fighting the good fight. And remember, tell your friends about the show. Share it on social media. The more people who hear the truth, the stronger we all become. This is the Raw Feed, and we're just getting started. So stay vigilant, stay informed, and we will see you next time.